It's an issue. Can Detective Gershman be here for this, or would you like him to step into the jury room for a moment?
Judge, it has to do with the toxicology stuff we're discussing, but in an abundance of caution, so there's no appearance of anything, maybe let's just have him go.
Yeah? The jury room. Just make sure there's a step down, so please be careful. Yes, Ms. Connor.
I want to wait so that there's no issue since Mr. Padilla doesn't seem to be here.
Okay. Go.
No? Judge, regarding the email that I got. The email that I received from Mr. Padilla states that they requested, and when they requested it, I don't see on the email, a litigation packet. I'm not asking for a litigation packet. I want to make that crystal clear. What was turned over in discovery by the defense was a lab report. It says, essentially, that this was tested and that it came back to find alpha PVP in 10 pills confirmed, okay? And the papers that are attached to it are chain of custody paperwork. All I'm asking for is not some litigation packet. I'm asking to exactly what Dr. Logan spoke about in his deposition, why he could not testify when I asked him, do you know how much, whether it was weighed, the concentration, what was the procedure? He couldn't answer those questions without looking at the data file. Those were his words, not mine. Much like when we turn over the results of the toxicology done in this particular case.
So, Ms. Klein, are you saying
that's all I'm asking
that the data file, according to Dr. Logan, he already testified that those documents are already in existence, compiled, he had the chance to review them, he just did not have them with him?
I don't know if he's reviewed them in preparation for this case or not. All I know is that he said if I had them in front of me, I'd be able to answer your questions, but that there is a data file. I don't need a litigation packet. All I'm asking for is the work that's behind this, the worksheets, etc., that accompany this. And if the court recalls, Mr. Zanganeh is the one who said, well, are you going to allow Dr. Logan to testify about the results of this without calling the chemist? We said yes, which is why I brought it up. Now I'm being told by Mr. Zanganeh that they're going to call a chemist. Well, if they're going to call the chemist, she's not going to be, is she going to just testify from this? If I'm going to ask her further questions, which I'll proffer to this court if she testifies, I will be cross-examining her, except I don't know what I'm going to cross-examine her. Is she not going to have her file here to look at? So that's all I'm asking for.
So would you like to respond?
Absolutely. Judge, this is what I'll tell you. We are going to have both of them available. I'm not saying that we're going to call both of them, but much like the government has the discretion to put us on notice on who we may or may not call, I'm letting the court know in an abundance of caution, I'm flying in not only the chemist, but our listed toxicologist that we've had listed for almost 8 months.
So these individuals should have data that they are relying on for their opinions, whether the defense chooses to use that opinion ultimately on the stand or not. But what about the data?
So, and just so I can make sure that the record is absolutely clear on this, this is a situation where the government has had.
We're very clear, Mr. Zanganeh.
I understand that, but
you don't need to review that. I'm asking a very specific question. Where is the data?
Judge, it's not that simple in terms of when we asked for the specific things that Ms. Klein asked for, the response that NMS Labs sent to us is what we forwarded to Ms. Klein. They, in essence, put together their litigation package, which has a complete file of what they use in their testing procedures.
Well, then I would like to see the request specifically that you made to get that response email so that we know that what you've requested is Ms. Klein is requesting and not more.
And Judge, and with all due respect and good faith, that email says that it's going to take 2 to 4 weeks for their litigation packet. Well, the likelihood is, Judge, that the state will be resting its case earlier than 2 to 4 weeks. So does that mean that whoever they call on the stand, okay, will not be prepared to answer questions that I am legally entitled to ask based on everything that has been thus far provided because they won't have a file? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Okay. You've listed witnesses that are relying on data to make their opinion. If you intend to call them, you better turn that data over.
Judge, they've had the opportunity. This is unfortunately what happens here is, Judge, they've had an opportunity to do their due diligence.
They've had the opportunity, yes.
And they haven't, and so now, please, if I just may...
Listen to me. I understand. They've had the opportunity over 8 months. I've heard you say it over and over and again, but the fact of the matter is if you're telling the court you're calling these witnesses, and these witnesses are going to rely upon certain reports and certain data, you have to turn them over.
Right.
And yes, it is, the state is, they push this issue at the 11th hour, and yes, that's an issue, but that's behind us. We're here. Let's deal with the problem at hand.
Well, let me tell you what it does to my defense team, Judge, is we are in the middle of a trial. The trial is dynamic. We're in preparation. We're doing what we need to do to be prepared to defend the allegations against my client and to prepare for the defense that we're presenting. And now, because of the government's failure to do what they should have done during the case in chief, now there's an extra onus on us to do extra things. And I'll tell you this right now, Judge, if you want to contact NMS Labs, we have no problem with you reaching out and telling them this. I'm ordering you guys to provide this. We have no problem with you doing that. I have no problem with the government getting this raw data. It's NMS Labs. The DEA uses them.
This is what I'm saying to the defense. If you are intending on calling a witness to the stand who is going to be relying on data, the state of Florida has made a motion to compel that data. It better be turned over before those individuals take the stand and better have the opportunity to review it. Otherwise,
But Judge,
you can't ambush the defense.
I'm not ambushing anybody. She has a copy of the report. She wants the raw data.
That's right. Just like we turned over the raw data for the toxicology report that Dr. Boland did, Judge. And just because the state may be late, which I'm not going to say that we're not, there were things that happened. The defense, we had a Dauber hearing the eve of trial as well. I'm not going into the whole history of that, Judge, because the court's also familiar. It is irrelevant, Judge. At the bottom line, the rules of evidence don't change. And the rules of discovery and what the state is entitled to, if another party is relying on it, don't change regardless of when the request is made.
In the court of justice.
And just so I can put this on the record, I will personally contact NMS Labs with regards to this issue later on, but it's my understanding, because of the voluminous nature of what they do at that facility, being the largest biomedical testing facility in the United States, it's not so simple for them to be able to get raw data and present it in the blink of an eye. There's a process. They have backlogs. So I will say,
I understand that, but it's my understanding that you're about to have an expert get on a plane to testify as to this data, and if that person has the ability to testify to that data better be available for review. Okay? So that's the issue. We'll take it up first thing on Monday morning.
Judge, just so I'm clear, if we don't have that data, are you not allowing us to proceed with the evidence that we've provided to the prosecution for over 8 months?
I'm not making an announcement of that kind at this time. I'll hear motions and we'll see what's appropriate and what's not appropriate at that time. But if the court finds out that this information was available, and just by making a phone call, you all have an obligation. That's all I'm going to say. Let's get ready for the jury. We have an hour left to work. Okay, is the state ready for the jury?
Yes.
Defense? We have one in the restroom. I'm telling Jose as soon as they are ready to please bring them in. Also, I'd just like to place one thing on the record about the juror that I prodded during the jury selection. I have been watching that juror through jury selection. He's always sat in the front row. He's always been number one. He is a closed-eyed listener. I have come to learn that at one point, I remember Mr. Dunn asked him a question during the voir dire. His eyes appeared closed, but he immediately responded. He shifted his body language, and I wasn't sure if he was asleep or if he was closed-eye listening. As soon as I mentioned to him, his eyes opened. I don't believe he was asleep. I believe he was a closed eye listening, but I invite the parties to continue to observe him, and if there's any further issues, we can take it up at the appropriate time, but I wanted to let the parties know why I mentioned his name at that particular time.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay? We're ready.
Please rise. You may be seated.
For the record, the state defense, Mr. Medina, all of our jurors are accounted for. Detective, will you confirm for me that you are still under oath, having sworn or affirmed to tell the truth and nothing but the truth? Mr. Dunn, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Approach the witness.
Yes, you may.
Detective,
I believe we were waiting for the state to review.
I've reviewed it.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
Having shown counsel 1F and 9K, I'm now approaching the detective, and I'll begin, detective, with 1F for identification. Do you recognize that it is?
Yes, I do.
And how do you recognize it?
This is a DVD containing the formal statement.
Does that have your signature or any indications on it of yourself as the impounding officer?
Yes, it does.
And where is that indicated?
There's a evidence label on the front of the plastic that indicates I'm the impounding officer, as well as my initials, badge number, and case number on the red evidence label.
And is that item in the same substantial condition as it was the day you impounded it?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, this time the state moves number 1F into evidence.
Any objection?
No.
So noted. Thank
They
you.
exhibit 146.
146?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
And now, Detective, I'm showing you 9K for identification. Can you please tell me if you recognize that, sir?
Yes, I do. This is a copy of the sworn statement, stenographic statement that was taken of the defendant on August 8, 2013.
And does that also have your signature or handwriting on it?
Yes, it does.
And is this through an accurate copy of the transcript statement that was made on August 8, 2015?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, at this time, the state will exhibit 9K for identification.
Any objection?
No.
So moved.
They exhibit 147.
Now, this entire interview, you said a moment ago, it was video and audio recorded, correct?
Yes.
Now, was the recorded interview, which we're going to watch in just a few minutes, was this consistent with the pre-interview that you testified to earlier?
Yes.
Were there any notable discrepancies?
There were a couple, I think there was one minor discrepancy and then one regarding amount.
What was the discrepancy between the recorded interview and the pre-interview with respect to the knife?
During the pre-interview, he states that when he's coming downstairs with the firearm, Jennifer then armed herself with the knife. In the formal, I believe he inverts it when he says that she arms herself with the knife and then he had the firearm.
Now, based upon your observations of the layout of the defendant's home, would it have been possible for Jennifer, standing from the kitchen area, to see Mr. Medina coming down the stairway?
Objection, calls for speculation.
Only if you know. Do not guess or assume.
Yes.
And did you have crime scene take photographs to document these sightlines?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, at this time, I'm showing defense counsel what has been marked for identification as states exhibits 7E, 7F, 7G, 7H, and 7I. Approach the witness.
You know.
As I'm showing you what have been previously marked for identification as I've announced, can you please take a look at those and tell me initially first if you recognize those photographs?
These are a series of photographs that I requested that crime scene take from different angles from the stairs as well as a view from the kitchen.
And for what purpose did you want crime scene to particularly take those photographs of those sidelines, Administrator?
Based on the defendant's statement to us and how he had the gun in his hand, I wanted to be able to later determine if we would be able to see the kitchen from the stairs and the stairs from the kitchen.
And do these photographs fairly and accurately take the sight lines from the stairway to the kitchen and vice versa as you observe them and have them documented on that tape? Your Honor, at this time, the state moves the aforementioned exhibits from evidence.
Any objection?
Judge, I have no objection to the admission of the photographs. I do have an objection to the manner in which the prosecutor described them.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will be the judges of fact in this case. Remember, what the lawyers say is not evidence. They will be admitted.
7I will become state exhibit number 147. 7H will become state exhibit number 148. 7G will become state exhibit number 149. 7F will become state exhibit number 150. 7E will become state exhibit number 151.
Thank you, Deborah. Your Honor, may I have Detective Grossman step down for a moment?
You may.
Detective, I've shown you initially what has been now admitted as states 151 in evidence. Can you please tell the jury what they are looking at in this photograph?
This photograph is a portion of the stairs with an angle to the kitchen.
For the record, which doorway is this?
This is the entry to the kitchen area.
Now I'm showing you what's been admitted as evidence. This one's 50. Again, what is that?
This is another photograph from a little bit away from the previous photograph, which encompasses the other wall of the kitchen.
State 149 in evidence. You can explain to the jury what that particular photograph is.
This is a photograph from the bottom of the stairs that shows the wall of the kitchen and the doorway.
And again, what hand did Mr. Medina indicate he was holding the firearm on his defending the stairs?
His right.
Would that be the hand closest to the kitchen if he's coming down the stairs?
Yes.
Showing you 148 in evidence, what does this photograph show?
This is a photograph from inside the kitchen, just in front of where the sink area is.
And looking at this photograph, where would the stairway be?
The stairway would be in the corner here, and be along this side of the house.
Finally, in evidence, the state 147, can you please explain to the jury that figure?
This image is taken from the corner of the kitchen towards the stairwell.
So the person standing in the kitchen looking at the stairway, that would be, that's right. Okay, you can have this. Now, the transcript that has now been admitted into evidence, and for the record, can you remind me of the exhibit number, please, Detective?
147.
Thank you. Was the defendant allowed to review that transcript prior to it being finalized, or I should say, after it was typed up?
Yes.
And what is that called?
What we do is it's called a readback. So after we obtain a formal statement from somebody, in this particular type setting where it's like a confession, what we do is we present the form, the statement back to them. We allow them to look through it to ensure that everything they said is accurate. And if they want to make any changes or anything like that, we allow them. We just ask that they initial the bottom of the pages as well as sign the end of the document.
Did Mr. Medina review the statement after it was typed up?
Yes, he did.
And did he initial each page?
Yes, he initialed everything that contained content except for the front page.
Was Mr. Medina permitted to make any changes or corrections to that transcribed statement?
Yes, he did.
And did he in fact make some corrections or changes?
Yes, he did.
So any handwritten notes that appear on that transcript, would those be Mr. Medina's?
Yes.
Were you present when he made any and all such changes?
Yes, I was.
Did you ask Mr. Medina about the Facebook posting during his recorded video interview?
Yes, I did.
And did he again acknowledge uploading the photo of his dead wife onto Facebook and posting the associated comments?
Yes, he did.
And did you show him an actual printout?
Yes, I did.
Showing the defense what has been marked for identification as 9M, Your Honor. Approach the witness.
You may.
Detective, I'm showing you what has now been marked for identification as 9M. Can you tell me if you recognize that, please?
Yes, I do.
And what is that exhibit?
This is the original photograph that I showed to Mr. Medina during his sworn statement, which he signed, dated, and placed the time at the bottom.
And were you present when the defendant signed and dated that exhibit?
Yes, I was.
And is that the original?
Yes, it is.
And does it appear to be in the same or substantially the same condition as the day he signed it in your presence?
Yes, it does.
Your Honor, this time the state would move 9M into evidence.
Any objection?
Nope.
So moved?
Exhibit number 152.
Thank you. Permission to publish. Your Honor.
You may.
And in addition to the photograph of his dead wife, did the comment he posted to Facebook also appear in that exhibit?
Yes, it does. Yes, sir.
Your Honor, this time the state would like to publish the DVD which has been admitted as State's Exhibit 146 in evidence.
You may do so.
Your Honor, may I also publish 152 to the individual jurors?
Yes, you may.
on the video screen. Before I continue, yes, please. Yourself and whoever else is here.
Seated here with the tie-back suit is the defendant, Medina. I'm seated right here. Next to me, to the left, is my partner, Defendant James Hassis. And next to him is our stenographic court reporter. Her name is Leslie Sokol.
And were these the only people in the room during this entire thing?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Sit down. We'll continue.
And on these rights, are you now willing to answer my questions on the rights? Yes. And those are your initial statements? That's correct. The statement is I'm of my own free will, but I regret the promises that I made. And since your signature is on the page? Yes, sir. And would you read the date and time as you say? 8/13/404 p.m. For the record, the forum with the advising officer was Detective Jonathan Grossman and was witnessed by Detective James Hattis, both at 8/8/2013 at 4:04 p.m. As you know, we are investigating an incident that took place earlier today at your residence. Yes, sir. How long have you been with the victim in this case? My wife? Yes, 4 years. Born on 4 years, September 30th of the day, 4 years. Are you currently residing with anyone? Residing, what do you mean? Residing with her. Oh, like you live with her in the home? Yeah, she lives with me. I'm the owner. And did you have any children together? No. Earlier this morning, you turned yourself into the South Miami Police Department, correct? Yes, sir. And why did you do that? Because I'm not a killer. It was self-defense. And I honored my country, I honored my state, I honored the city of South Miami, and I do not feel that I'm guilty. Do not feel like I intently killed, I do not feel like this was, like I was out there to kill her. No, it wasn't. This was self-defense. There was a fight at your residence this morning? Yes. Yes. Around what time did you wake up this morning? Woke up at 9:30. And when you woke up, what was the first thing that happened? She basically came into the room. She basically mentioned, she started ranting about, why we didn't, I didn't wake her up at 1:30 after we went out last night to my yacht club. And I mentioned to her that my stepdaughter was passed out by 10:30 at night. So she was upset about a plan that she had for you to wake her up at 1:30? Yes, yes, and correct. And then she started throwing stuff, objects towards me as a weapon. And then I pulled out my weapon, and then I told her, hey, back off, or I'm going to call the cops. And she goes, go, I call the cops, whatever, you're not going to do anything. Oh, sorry. Doing anything cute. You say that she was throwing items at you. What exactly was it that she was throwing? Towels, mascara, creams, anything she can grab her hand. Boxes, anything in the room she could throw at me. I was just ducking. I got hit in the face a few times. Did you sustain any injuries at that point? No. Only when she was pushing me and punching me afterwards when I got upset. That's when I went back and grabbed her. You stated that during this initial argument in your room, where she was throwing out that you armed yourself with your firearm? Yes, but I armed myself, which I forgot to leave that part out. I armed myself when she started pushing me and punching me. Then I backed up and I went back to her. And where did you obtain the firearm from? In the closet of my pants, on my holster. So at the time you brought the firearm out, was it in a holster? Correct, I pulled it out of the holster. And what did you do at that point? The safety was on, I pointed towards her, told her to stop, and after that, and she let her know the safety was on. Sorry. Yes, sorry. Can you repeat that answer? The safety was on, I took it to her, and pointed it towards her, and then she basically said, I told her that the safety was on, but she was like, oh, you're not going to kill me, you're not going to do anything, whatever. No, I'm not. There's no need for that, but you need to stop punching me and all this stuff.
Down.
Okay.
Finish said you're not going to kill me, what?
Well, she said that you're not going to kill me, and I said, no, of course not. You can safety, so I'm not. That wasn't my motive. I want you to stop punching me and attacking me.
At that point, did she exit the room?
Yes, she left. I went into I put the gun back. She was still there. I went back, I put the gun back into the spot in the holster in the pants, in the closet. I went into bed, and she was in the bathroom. And then she was throwing stuff and still trying to agitate me and push me on the wire. And I was like, and then she said that she was going to leave me tonight and pack her stuff. I said, that's fine. Okay, sorry. Then she said she was going to leave me at midnight when I go to work. So I work the midnight shift, and she's got like 2 weeks vacation off. And I said, go right ahead.
And at that point, did she leave the room?
Correct, but she left a couple times back and forth to throw stuff and keep on trying to agitate.
Did there come a point where she was downstairs?
Yeah.
At that point, did you exit your room and go downstairs?
When she exited the apartment, yes. She had to find out what was going on.
And when you went downstairs, were you armed with your firearm at that point?
No.
When you went downstairs and spoke with your wife, where did that discussion take place at?
In the kitchen.
And at that point, did she have a weapon in her hand at that time?
No.
At some point during your argument downstairs, did there come a point where you returned to your room on the job?
Or she punched me several times.
Yeah, let me finish.
Yeah, sorry.
Did there come a point where you went upstairs and obtained your firearm again for a second time?
Yes, after I was beaten.
And at that time, when you armed yourself with your firearm, what did you do next?
I went downstairs, confronted her, saw what she was doing, and she had a knife in her hand. Grabbed the hand, I grabbed the knife in my right hand, put it back in the drawer, and then she kept on punching me like crazy again, and I fired.
Take you back for 1 second. When you were coming downstairs, where was she?
In the kitchen.
And did you have the firearm in your hand?
Yes.
And when you came downstairs and saw her in the kitchen, did she have the knife at that point?
And she looked, had it towards me, and then she was like, had it towards her, which was going to be physical.
Did she say anything to you at that point?
Yeah, you're not going to kill me, blah, 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 just like, you're a pussy, and all that stuff.
Now, you stated that she had a knife in her hand. Can you describe the knife?
Silver, about a foot long, with a black handle.
And did she make a direct threat to you with that knife? What did she say to you?
Well, she said that you're not going to kill me at first, and then she said, I'm going to kill you, because you were pulling out a gun on me.
And you stated that you disarmed her?
Correct.
Was your firearm in your hand at the time that you disarmed her?
Correct.
And what did you do with the knife once you took it out of her hand?
Put it in the drawer.
And at that point, did you close the drawer?
Yeah.
Was she armed with any other weapon at this time?
No. Just, okay.
What happened next?
She just started firing punches like crazy and wouldn't stop her. When she was really, really attacking me. Like I was getting out of the way, I got hit in the arm, and she was like going for my temple. I felt like she was, she was trying to just take me out. And then also, she did make threats upstairs about me dying, and she hopes I die, and then she'll get someone to kill me, whatever it is. She did make those threats upstairs.
So after she hit you in the kitchen,
I fired.
how many times?
I fired away. I shot her.
How many times did you discharge your weapon?
I want to say 6 to 8 times.
Was that full capacity of your gun at that time?
In full capacity, like,
Your firearm was fully loaded?
Correct.
Magazine capped off? And what did you do with the gun after you shot?
well, she was still lunging and throwing punches even when I did shoot her. She was still fighting. I put it upstairs in the closet again, on top of the pants. And then I got some pants, some jeans. I talked to my stepdaughter, I told her to keep this door closed. Don't come downstairs. I told her to stay there. And then I went downstairs, I took the picture, and then I just locked the door.
Now, let me ask you, back to the fight when you were in the kitchen. When she was hitting you, was she near the hallway, or was she...
No, it was all in the kitchen.
Let me finish the question. When she was hitting you, were you closer to the hallway? Okay, and is that closer to the exit of the residence? Like the front door to the residence? That's how you would read it?
It's kind of like in the back, you know, the front's, it's kind of like in the middle, yeah.
But your kitchen is a U-shaped kitchen, right? And you were near the hallway, is that correct?
Yes.
So you were closer to the hallway, which leads to the
Correct.
front door of the house. Now, you stated that you took a picture. What did you take a picture of?
Of her.
Was she deceased at that point?
Yes.
And why did you take a photo?
So the family would know and be notified, and they can rush over there and get my stepdaughter.
And what did you do once you took that photo?
Uploaded it on Facebook, on her page, so the family can see.
And when you uploaded it on her page, did you upload it on your Facebook page as well?
Correct. Because I have her family and friends on my Facebook too.
And at any point prior to leaving the house, did you call 911?
You don't just say that loud.
No, sorry.
Once you exited the residence, did you lock the door behind you?
Yes, I did. Bottom line,
What did you do after that?
I went straight to my aunt's house. My aunt's house.
And your aunt's name is?
Valerie Medina.
And do you know her address?
6841 Southwest 48th Street, Miami, Florida, 33155.
And once you were at your aunt's house, what did you do?
I pretty much informed them that I just killed my wife, that she was abusing me, and she said why. She was crying, she was a little confused, and then I advised my uncle as well, and then there I told him to call my dad, and my dad was like, you know, save your life before I go to the police station.
And what is your uncle's name?
Nash, Abby. I mean, full name is Abby Chapman.
Can you spell that?
Well, it's going to be hard. Abicchani.
And you then informed them as well as your dad that you had shot your wife.
Yes, I did.
And who took you to the police station?
My dad, Derek Medina. Derek Ian Medina.
And did you go to the police station voluntarily?
Yes.
And once you got, what police station did you go to?
City of South Miami.
And when you got there, what did you do?
I informed the dispatcher that I just killed my wife and she was attacking me. And then she said, okay, wait here. And then police, City of South Miami came over. Sorry. City of South Miami came over, they checked if I had weapons, and then they took me to the cell.
I'm going to take you back for a moment. When you shot your wife, where did you shoot your wife at?
I believe it was in the stomach and up. It could have gone up to the chest area, to the throat, to the neck. From the neck to the stomach.
And do you know how many times you actually hit your wife?
6 to 8 times. Oh, everything that was in there, here. Everything that was in the full round.
So every round that you fired, you hit your wife?
Correct.
I want to take you back now to your prior, I guess, jobs.
record as of 25?
Wait a second, I'm finished.
Sorry.
What would you what?
What was your record as an amateur boxer? 25 now. And that means that you never lost a fight? Correct. Are you right-handed or left-handed? Right-handed. When you shot your wife, did she say anything? No, she just kept on trying to attack me. She was in shock, she had an expression. Like she was shocked, but she still was trying to swing at me, trying to lunge at me. What type of expression did she have described? Just her mouth open up in shock. Like gasp of shock. Did she ever ask for help when she was falling to the ground? No. What injuries did you sustain today? I have marks on my chest, my right side of the chest, and my left arm was bruised. Severe pain. To your left arm? Correct. Are any of those injuries life-threatening? No. I mean, it feels like it. They said it was just bruised, but I felt like, I don't know. I think it's, I don't know if it's fractured, but I feel severe pain to my left arm. Did you feel that her punching you in the arm and chest would ultimately kill you? Correct. I was more concerned about the temple. Because she was hitting you in your arm and chest, though she got close to my temple. I got out of the way and she was real close to my temple. Let me ask you, the injuries to your arm and to your chest, those were not life-threatening injuries, correct? No. Well, maybe my chest. Maybe my chest, yes. My arm, no. My chest, yes. And why did you not call 911 from the residence? From the beginning of it all? Or when I shot her? Both. Because I figured that I had to solve it alone. I dealt with this for 4 years. And I never had to call the cops. We've been able to resolve it. I didn't know it was going to get to this. So during the course of your wife being abusive to you over 4 years, at no point did you ever call the police? No, I just informed my family. Did you ever think that maybe involving the police could help your situation? Nope. And you chose not to call the police today because why? I wanted to try myself out. I wanted to go in voluntarily. I didn't want to call. And I didn't want my stepdaughter to see all that. Now you stated earlier that you feel things could have gone differently. How do you think things could have turned out differently? If it didn't even start from the beginning. If the fight didn't, the verbal fight didn't start from the beginning. Like, you just didn't handle it differently. Very gentle. You know, talked about not fighting in front of my stepdaughter. So my wife knows that I'm not going to fight, you know, with my stepdaughter, even before that, you know, but I try not to even get into it, just ignore it. That's why I was trying to go back to sleep, because I don't know when my stepdaughter involved. So she was pushing me and attacking me from upstairs to downstairs. You know, you stated earlier that your family was aware of the abuse that your wife was inflicting upon you. Did you ever photograph any of those injuries? Yes, I did. Where are those photographs? On the phone that my hand was. What are those photographs of? Just my arm. I didn't get my chest because I had my tank top on. Is that from today? So the photographs that are on your phone reflect the injury that was sustained today? And the video.
didn't you leave the house in the middle?
Because my wife is suicidal and she's attempted suicide before, and if I leave the house, she will overdose on medication.
Had any of those prior suicide attempts? Have you ever called 911 to report any of those prior suicide attempts?
No, sir.
And when you shot her, were you in fear for your life?
Yes.
And why?
She was repeatedly punching me and trying to get to my temple, my neck. When I say I was in fear with the shot, with her punch towards my chest area, because she was getting close to my neck. So I was in fear with my neck, her catching me to the throat and to the temple on the left side. But the arm, I wasn't, she's not going to kill me punching my arm.
I'm going to show you one additional form that was presented to you earlier. For the record, I'm showing a Miami Dade Police Department consent to provide a DNA specimen for laboratory analysis.
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize this form?
Yes, sir.
Is this a form that was presented to you earlier?
Yes, sir.
Did you read and understand this form?
Yes, sir.
And did you fill out the top portion with your name, race, sex, and date of birth?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature at the bottom?
Yes, sir.
And did you voluntarily consent to the DNA specimen?
Yes, sir.
For the record, the form was signed on August 8th at 3:17 p.m. and noticed by this investigator. I'm going to show you a photograph. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes, sir.
And what is this photograph of?
My wife.
And is this the position how you left her?
What?
This is the position.
I know, he has the answer.
Yes.
And was this after you shot her?
Yes.
And is this the photograph that you took with your phone?
Yeah. Yes.
And is this the photograph that you uploaded to Facebook?
Yes, it is.
Now, I know it's small, but can you please read your posting?
I'm going to prison or death sentence for killing my wife. Love you guys, miss you. Guys, take care of Facebook people. You will see me in the news. My wife was punching me. And I'm not going to stand anymore with this abuse. I did what I did. I hope you understand.
And did you write that statement?
Yes, sir.
And did you post that statement online?
Yes, sir. It's right over here.
All right, I'm going to give you a pen. If you could just print your name and sign your name at the bottom. And if you could put today's date, which is 8/8/2013. And the time is now 7:20 p.m. Has everything you stated been true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone threatened or coerced you in any way to give this statement?
No, sir.
Have you given this statement freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry for saying it. I made it a little hard. I apologize.
You can't have two people talking at the same time, so that's why I asked you if it's a question. But that's okay.
Detective, just real quick, I forgot to ask you, but during your entire time with Mr. Medina, was he offered bathroom and food and such breaks?
Yes.
Now that the jury has had a chance to view the video, let's go through some of the changes that Mr. Medina made to his statement. Can you begin taking a look at what has been admitted into evidence as number 147, which is the transcript, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Can you tell the jury what, if any, change Mr. Medina made to page 11 of the transcript upon reviewing it?
On line 20, he says, I felt like she was trying just to, she headbutt me.
So the words he wrote in were what?
She headbutt me.
Your Honor? It's effectively...
Legal grounds, if you'd like to go
Rule of
sidebar.
completeness, Judge.
Let's go sidebar for a moment.
Can I see that, please? Detective, can I ask you a second?
You may.
Detective, can you just please point out on page 11 of the transcript where Mr. Medina made that change?
Yes, it's between line 20 and 21. These under the section.
Do this making changes to page 7 of the transcript.
Yes, he did.
And could you please put that one up for the jury as well? And please point to the page where it appears and read what he indicated by.
Last word for the question. They were life-threatening.
Can you now tell us what, if any, changes he made to page 21 of the transcript, Detective? Can you put that one on the display, please? 21. And show the jury what, if anything, he changed on that page.
On line 1, at the end of the sentence, he adds, yes, I feel she will kill me, punching my higher part of my arm, not my lower part of my arm.
And what was Mr. Medina's approximate weight and height at the time of your interview of him?
Probably around 200 pounds.
Can you please tell the jury finally what, if any, pages he made to page 22 of the transcript?
At the end of line 22, he added a section that said, I was threatened with a knife. I made this statement because I feel the court system is corrupted.
And when he said, I made this statement, what was he referring to at that particular point in the...
Objection, Judge, calls for speculation.
If you know, sir, do not guess or assume.
What was he being asked to review at that moment in the interview?
His Facebook post that he made and uploaded.
Thank you, Detective. You may have a seat. Was there anything in his original Facebook posting about the court system being corrupt?
No.
Say anything about that during his pre-interview?
No.
I think this will be a good time to break.
Mr. Dunn, would you kindly move the television out of the way so I can address her? Ladies and gentlemen, 5 to 4, and I have made the commitment to you that we would not work later than 4 o'clock on Fridays. At this time, I will ask you to close your notepads and place them down. At this time, we will be in recess for the weekend. What we will be doing is I will ask you to be back on Monday morning at 10 a.m. As soon as you all have arrived, I have finished my morning calendar, which is very short. We will continue. Please remember, it is more important than ever that you continue to follow my rules and orders, not to come to any fixed opinions. You have not heard everything yet. That you not do any outside research, that you stay away from all media coverage of this case, that you not log into Facebook for any reason if you have an account. Even if you don't go on Facebook for any reason. In addition, don't speak to anyone, including other members of the jury. Do not allow anybody to speak to you. Do not do any outside research. But most importantly, have a wonderful weekend. We will see you Monday morning on the 7th floor at 10 a.m. Goodbye. Please be seated, everybody. For the record, again, State Defense Mr. Medina, Detective, you are welcome to enjoy the weekend recess. I will remind you, sir, that you are still technically on the stand, so you may not speak to anybody about your testimony. Of course, you may speak to the parties about scheduling. I will ask that you please be back in this courtroom at 5 to 10 on Monday morning. You are excused. Thank you. Before we recess, anything else from the defense, since you're at the podium?
Yes, Judge. Multiple issues. The first issue is, at the beginning of today's proceedings, we asked the court if the government would give us a timeline of where they are in their case in chief for us to be able to start preparing travel accommodations for our experts and our witnesses. We indicated that we would do that before we resolved today, so I wanted to see if they could give us a rough estimate of how many witnesses they have left after Detective Grossman and how long they think those witnesses will take, or how long they think the test. They don't have to tell me how many witnesses, just tell me how long they think it's going to run into next week.
Can you give a guesstimate? Obviously, there is no perfect science to this question, but can you give a guesstimate?
I think that we are still on track to finish in a week.
Okay, so what would that be? A week? So that would be Tuesday, approximately? And Wednesday is Thursday.
Okay.
I'm not sure to be anyone in the middle of that.
Okay, well, that's fair enough. So it's possible Tuesday, if they go into Wednesday, so that's the time.
No problem. And furthermore, Mr. Padilla spoke with a representative from NMS Labs, and I'll have him convey to the court what she told him to write.
Your Honor, the documentation that they're requesting is part of their litigation package. I asked them, how do your experts testify if a litigation package is not prepared? She told me they prepare, they refresh on their computer system, and they come prepared to testify.
So then we would like a copy of whatever's on their computer.
Right, but that's not, for them to produce a copy of what their computer system has, then they have to go through the whole formal process of preparing a litigation package. And I told that individual that she's ready to speak with Your Honor or with the state or whoever.